Position 1. City Council Member. You start at the bottom. City Council. Population 50,000. Nobody knows your name outside a 3-mile radius. You ran because you cared. Traffic lights weren't timed right. The park needed renovations. Local businesses were struggling. You thought you could fix it. You won with 3,847 votes. Barely beat the incumbent. Now you're on the city council. Congratulations. You make $18,000 a year. It's not even a full-time job. You still work your day job. Meetings are at night, twice a month. You sit at a folding table in a community center and debate potholes for 3 hours. The issues are small. Zoning disputes, parking regulations, noise complaints. But people care. They show up to meetings. They yell at you. They email you at 2 a.m. about their neighbor's fence. You learn quickly. Nobody agrees on anything. Every decision pisses off half the room. You vote to fix the roads. People complain about taxes. You vote against raising taxes. People complain about the roads. You're not changing the world. You're managing complaints. But you're learning. You're building relationships. You're shaking hands. You're showing up. This is the bottom. And if you want to climb, you start here. Position 2, Mayor. For years later, you run for mayor. Same town. Bigger job. You win. 11,293 votes. You're in charge now. The buck stops with you. You make $85,000 a year. Still not rich, but it's something. You quit your day job. This is full-time now. As mayor, you actually have power. You set the budget. You hire department heads. You represent the city in state meetings. You cut ribbons at new businesses. You give speeches at high school graduations. But you also take the blame. Crime goes up? Your fault. Businesses leave? Your fault. Taxes too high? Your fault. You work with the city council. The same people you used to sit with. Now you're above them. Some of them resent it. They block your proposals out of spite. Politics isn't about policy. It's about ego. You wanted to build a new community center. It took 2 years and 3 revisions to get approval. By the time it opened, nobody remembered it was your idea. You learn compromise. You give a little to get a little. You make deals. You trade favors. You smile at people you can't stand because you need their vote next month. You're not idealistic anymore. You're practical. You're a politician now. After 2 terms, you've built a name. People in the county know who you are. You've made connections at the state level. You're ready for the next step. Position 3, State Representative. You run for state representative. Bigger district. 150,000 people. You campaign hard. Door to door. Town halls. Fundraisers. You win. 34,621 votes. You're going to the state capitol. You make $50,000 a year. Wait, less than mayor? Yeah, most state reps have other jobs. This is part-time. 3 months a year in session. The rest of the time you're back home working. In the state legislature, you're nobody. One of 150 representatives. You sit in the back. You vote on bills you barely understand. Education funding. Healthcare regulations. Infrastructure projects. You propose a bill. It dies in committee. You propose another. It dies in committee. That's how it works. Senior members control everything. You're a freshman. You shut up and vote the way leadership tells you. You learn quickly. Party loyalty matters more than principles. You vote with your party 95% of the time. Not because you agree. Because that's how you get moved up. That's how you get on committees that matter. You wanted to represent your district. Instead, you're representing party interests. Your constituents wanted lower taxes. Leadership wanted higher spending. You voted for higher spending. Because that's the game. And if you don't play, you don't move up. After 4 years, you've built relationships with senior members. You've proven you're loyal. You've raised money for the party. You're ready for the state senate. Position 4, State Senator. Smaller chamber. More prestige. You run for state senate. Bigger district. For 100,000 people. You win. 103,472 votes. Now you're in the upper chamber. You make $60,000 a year. Still part-time. But now you have real influence. State senators write the big bills. Control committees. Decide which legislation lives or dies. You're not in the back anymore. You're in the room where decisions happen. But the pressure is different. Special interest groups know your name. Lobbyists take you to lunch. They don't ask for favors. They offer information, data, campaign contributions. A healthcare lobby wants you to vote against pharmaceutical price caps. They donate $50,000 to your campaign. You vote against the caps. You tell yourself it's because the bill was poorly written, that it would hurt innovation, that you're being pragmatic. But you know the truth. You voted the way the money told you to. Because campaigns are expensive. You need hundreds of thousands to stay competitive. TV ads, mailers, staff. That money comes from somewhere. And it always wants something back. You're not corrupt. You're just realistic. This is how the system works. After 2 terms, you've built a statewide reputation. You've chaired committees. You've passed legislation that made the news. People across the state know your name. National party leaders notice. You're ready for Congress. Position 5. U.S. Representative. You run for Congress. U.S. House of Representatives. 750,000 people in your district. You win. 234,829 votes. You're going to Washington, D.C. You make $174,000 a year. Finally, real money. Full-time job. You move to D.C., rent an apartment. Your family stays home. You fly back every weekend. In Congress, you're one of 435. A freshman. Again, you're back at the bottom of a new ladder. You get assigned to committees. Not the ones you wanted. The ones nobody else wanted. Agriculture. You're from a suburban district. You don't know anything about farming. Doesn't matter. That's your committee. You propose bills. They die. You co-sponsor bills with senior members. Your name is listed 4th. Nobody remembers you were involved. The media doesn't care about you. You're one voice in 435. Unless you do something dramatic, you're invisible. So some members do dramatic things. They yell on cable news. They tweet controversial takes. They make headlines by being outrageous. You don't do that. You play it smart. You vote with leadership. You raise money for the party. You build relationships. National issues are bigger than state issues. Immigration, healthcare, defense spending. Every vote is national news. Every vote pisses off half your district. You vote for a bill your party wants. Your district hates it. They call your office. They protest. They threaten to vote you out. You vote against your party. Leadership freezes you out. No committee assignments. No fundraising support. No future. You're stuck. Damned either way. After 6 years, 3 terms, you've survived. You've moved up committee ranks. You've built national connections. You're ready for the Senate. Position 6. U.S. Senator. The Senate. 100 members. 6-year terms. Real power. You run statewide. Millions of voters. Millions of dollars in campaign spending. You win. 2.3 million votes. You're a United States Senator. You still make $174,000. Same as the House. But the prestige is different. Senators are celebrities. You're on TV. You're quoted in newspapers. You matter. In the Senate, you have real influence. You confirm Supreme Court justices. You ratify treaties. You control massive budgets. Your vote actually matters. But the stakes are higher. Every decision you make affects millions. Every vote is scrutinized. Special interests spend millions trying to influence you. You wanted to vote for environmental regulation. Oil companies spent $10 million against you in ads. Your poll numbers dropped 8 points. You watered down the bill. Voted for the compromise. Was it the right choice? You tell yourself yes. You got something done. Half a win is better than a loss. But you know you compromised your principles. Again, you've been in politics for 20 years now. City council to senator. You've climbed the ladder. And you barely recognize yourself anymore. You started wanting to help people. Now you're managing donors. Calculating political angles. Voting based on polls, not principles. But you've made it to the top. Almost. One position left. Position 7, President. You run for President of the United States. It takes 2 years. Primaries in all 50 states. Debates. Rallies. Fundraising. Billions of dollars spent. You beat 6 other candidates in your primary. Then the general election. 330 million people watching. Every word analyzed. Every mistake magnified. You win. 81 million votes. You're the President of the United States. You make $400,000 a year. You live in the White House. You fly on Air Force One. You command the military. You're the most powerful person in the world. But you're also the most trapped. You can't go anywhere without Secret Service. You can't have a private conversation. Everything you say is recorded. Every decision you make is criticized by half the country. You wanted to pass healthcare reform. Congress blocks it. You wanted to fix immigration. Courts stop you. You wanted to end a war. Military advisors tell you it's impossible. The problems are too big. The system is too broken. You're one person trying to move a machine that doesn't want to move. Half the country hates you. The other half expects you to be perfect. Nobody's satisfied. You make decisions that get people killed. You approve military strikes. You send soldiers into combat. You know some of them won't come home. You make decisions that ruin lives. Economic policies that cost jobs. Immigration policies that separate families. And you have to live with it. Every night. Alone in the White House. Knowing that every choice has consequences you can't control. You climbed from city council to the presidency. From local meetings about potholes to nuclear briefings. And now that you're here, at the very top, you realize the truth. You have all the power and none of the control. The truth. Every political position is a trap. At the bottom, you're powerless. You manage complaints and argue about parking spots. At the top, you're powerful. But you're owned by donors, controlled by party leadership, and hated by millions. The higher you climb, the more you compromise. The more you compromise, the less you recognize yourself. You started wanting to help people. You end up helping the people who fund your campaigns. That's politics. That's the system. That's the price of power. Every position, every rank, every step up the ladder. A different cage. That's a wrap. From city council to the Oval Office. Every position has a cost. Subscribe for more breakdowns of power that corrupts everyone who touches it.